Welcome back to Basic Biostatistics 2, and in this third video of this session I'm going to show you how to recategorize variables. Let us assume we would like to categorize a continuous variable into three different categories. In our example, let's choose cholesterol. As you know, in our database, cholesterol is a continuous variable, but sometimes it's easier to process data as categorical variables. In our case, we would like to categorize cholesterol into a new variable that consists of three different categories: level of cholesterol of 5 millimole or less, between 5.01 till 7, and more than 7 millimole per liter. In SPSS, all transformation of variables we can find are the function and transform. In our case, we click on transform, and here, as we recode it into a different variable from a continuous into different categorical variables, we select recode into different variables. We click on it and a new window opens that is pretty simple. The first thing we have to do in this window is to select which is the variable we would like to use in order to categorize it into a new variable. This needs to be done in this window where we have input variable leads to an output variable. How to do this? It's pretty simple. We select our input variable, which is our cholesterol level continuous variable. As you see, it's a scale. We see here on the yellow bar, it's a scale. We click on cholesterol, we move it into this window. Now, as you see, the program asks us, okay, cholesterol, but into what we're going to define it? What's the name of the new variable? And in order to define it, we have here on the right-hand side, output variable window, where we have name and label. Label is the definition of our variables in order to describe what we actually do. So for output variable, we select a new variable, and this will be, for instance, cholesterol, call categorical. This may help me to identify, okay, this is the cholesterol, the categorical variable. Before we can continue, you need to click on change. If you do not click on change, nothing will be done and you're not able to continue in recoding different variables. Once you click on change, you see what happens. We have now defined that the new variable is derived from cholesterol, the continuous variable, and the new name of the variable is called cholesterol category. One more time, please do not forget to click on change once you have given the output variable a name. So far so good, but now we still have to define what are actually the cutoff levels or the thresholds for three different categories. This needs to be done here where we have old and new values. Once you click on old and new values, we have a new window that is open here. On the left hand side, these are the old values. This corresponds to the continuous variable. On the right hand side, we have the information on the new values of the new variable, which is the cholesterol categorized value. And here we simply define, for instance, if we have a range from variables, we can define that from 0 till 5, or we can decide from lowest true value, which is the first category will be 5 millimole per liter or less, will be category 1. So we can have from the lowest value to 5. And the new variable, this will be category 1. So this means that all the variables, all the values, all the dwarfs that have cholesterol values from between 0 and 5 will be categorized into new category 1 that could be normal cholesterol, for instance. In order to accept these changes, you need to click on add. We click on add, and now you see the definition from the old to the new, that values below 5 from the lowest value until 5 is a new category 1. Now we have to define what is category 2. Category 2 is bigger than 5, so this starts from 5.01 as cholesterol has 2 decimals until 7. We cannot use lowest value true value because now we have to define a lower and a higher cutoff level. This we can select here under range. So we had range will be 5.01 through 7 millimole. All these dwarfs will be in the new category 2 that is categorized, or we can call them like as increased cholesterol or average increased cholesterol level. As this will be category 2, we select here in the window, in the value window, the new value, we select the right 2 that corresponds to category 2. We click on add, and now all the dwarfs that have cholesterol levels between 5 and 7 will be recategorized into a category 2. For the last one is those who have higher than 7 millimole per liter their cholesterol will be category 3. We can go here to range, that is values through highest. This means starting from a certain value, which is 7.01. This means that all the dwarfs that have values starting from 7.01 to the highest value they have will be recoded or recategorized in our new variable as being category 3. This is why we write a 3 in the new value window. We click on add, and as you can see here, we have defined the 3 new categories. Lowest through 5 will be category 1, 5.01 through 7 will be category 2, 7.01 through highest will be category 3. Once we've defined all our new categories, we click on continue. And before SPSS calculates your new category, you need to click on OK. Click on OK, and as usually, the output window pops up and tells you what you have done. Here we have in syntax language, we recoded cholesterol, we have the 3 different levels, the cholesterol category, execute. To see what happened in our data file, we go on our SPSS data set, and we see there's a new variable appeared in our data variable view window. Cholesterol categories, it does not have any decimals, so I suggest you to write a 0. Here you find this is cholesterol in categories. And now as we have different values, we have to click here on the value window where we define actually what are the 3 different categories. A gray box with 3 little points pops up. We click on that box, and here we can now define. So value 1, which is the lowest category, were those who had cholesterol levels smaller or equal to 5. We click on add, and we have defined the first category. We define the second category, the value 2 corresponds, and we write here 5.01 till 7. We click on add. Category 3, the label is bigger than 7, and we click on add. And now we have defined the 3 categories. Now, if you realize you made a mistake as we did, how can you correct these mistakes? Well, as I told you actually, category 3 is not from 5.0 to 7, but 5.01 till 7. So we made a mistake. In purpose, in order to can show you how to correct it, so we click on that one, the one you'd like to correct, and you see again the values are here in the window written out, and we can correct it. So we will need to write here adding a 1. So if now category 2 corresponds to 5.01 till 7, we click on change, and the change has been taken into effect immediately. We click on OK, and now you have defined on the value window the 3 categories in order to label them, in order to identify them better once you analyze the data. By default, SPSS tells you it's a nominal variable, but there are categories within it, so it's low, medium, high, so I suggest you change this to ordinal. This is how you categorize variables out of continuous variables. In The task of this session, you will ask to do several categorizations of continuous variables, so about 3 or 4 different ones. So when you go back to transform and select recode different variables, you see you have still the previous one you categorized visible. So in order to continue to do it, you first need to click always on reset. Reset, everything disappears, the previous functions you've done, and you can start to categorize a new variable. Always remember to click first on reset and to avoid any problems in your database. I hope this example is clear enough. You're going to have 3 or 4 tasks to categorize your variable, and I wish you good luck in that task. These are the main functions you're probably going to need for most of your data in order to compute or categorize different variables. Thank you very much.